So right off the bat, and even a few days ago, WWE was teasing, come the first Raw of 2024, we are going to get a former WWE champion. Boy, howdy, they weren't lying to us, were they? Also, hello, my friends, and Happy New Year, happy 2024. And no matter how good your 2023 is, I hope this brand new year kicks all the more butt, and you have the best time ever, and you go around doing the dance of joy. Also, thank you very much for taking some time and giving it to me, because that's right, we're here at another year, and we're still taking the finger of power, shouldn't have done it, and giving the good bits up and the bad bits are down, which we're about to do for day, let's go. Michael Cole and Wade Barrett also in the ring, being up this day one Raw as if it was a pay-per-view premium live event. And then we got this really good video for Nia Jax versus Becky Lynch. I was like, that worked. I'm really excited. You won't believe this either, because they did clash, and do you know who got the victory? None other than Nia Jax. I didn't see it coming. I absolutely love stuff like this though, because you didn't predict it, I didn't predict it, your mum didn't predict it, maybe because she doesn't want pro wrestling, but sometimes this is just what you have to do, especially when it comes to Becky Lynch. She's like the best loser ever. Whatever that means. Now, she was doing fine at first when she hit a sunset flip bomb and the molly go round of all things, when they kind of went on the outside and they started throwing fisticuffs. And as we know, you don't want to get punched by Nia because she'll bust your nose, turn you into a main eventer. It didn't work at all though, because Bex got out of the way, meaning Jax punched Rhea the ring post. And I sat there, and again, New Year's resolutions, and I was like, this is so unfair to Rita. This is happening to her all of the time, and really it should be a disqualification. So, given it is a brand new year, I would like to introduce to you Rita, the ring post rabbit. Now, the rabbit I ordered hasn't turned up because it was the holidays. So for now, we are using this Razor Ramon Funko Pop, but he will vanish soon, and anytime this happens in 2024 and Rita gets assaulted, I'm gonna show you the rabbit. And you're going, Simon, that's really weird. Where you been? Poor Nia couldn't hit anything either because she went for a cannonball and went right into Barry Barricade, rest in peace, when Lynch was like, right, now I'm gonna work over your arm, because of course that would tie into one of her finishes. This somehow ended with them fighting on Tina the Turnbuckle when Nia Jax gave Becky Lynch an avalanche Samoan drop. Don't worry. I did my research, she is Samoan. Lynch must have come into this though with her meter absolutely maxed though, because she then went back to the top of Tina, and really somebody should have given her a move to do, because instead she went for a flying nothing, Nia Jax clocked to one, dragged her into the corner, gave her the Annihilator, and pinned her for the 1, 2, 3. So I was totally stunned, although this does make Nia feel like a massive monster, and now we can do that classic story of the babyface underdog as Becky Lynch probably comes back, eventually beats Nia Jax, and maybe wins the Royal Rumble, and then goes on to take Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania 40. I thought this was a tremendous start to Raw, giving it up. And we kept that coming too, because here came Cody Rhodes. And yes, we're going to talk about all that nonsense later too. For now though, he wants to discuss the new year, because he's a little bit of a sad panda. He just wants to try and annoy himself, but he can't, because of that damn Shinsuke Nakamura. Because Rhodes totally understands how tough Nakamura is in the ring, but after that stupid Christmas tale he did a couple of weeks ago, well, he thinks Shinsuke is a massive goober. This also means Cody Rhodes spent his Christmas season just going, oh, I can't believe Shinsuke Nakamura did that. So no wonder he's mad. Cody Rhodes then decided they should finish this right here, right now, like it was a Daft Punk song, when Nakamura appeared on the big screen. But the thing is, this was clearly an edited video, so somewhere Shinsuke must have been sat in the back, and it just pushed play. He thought all of this was hilarious though, because Cody, you're so wound up. And also, I have more bad news for you. You ain't gonna finish the story, because I'm gonna kill you. That is why he is happy to fight, but we shall do it in 7 days' time. Which means poor Cody, he's got to sit around for another week just stewing. So yes, admittedly this did feel like stalling, but I totally understand why. WWE has clearly looked at 2024 and been like, man, we're going to stack up every single Raw. And good, I'm going to watch them all anyway. They are 3 hours long. Give me the cheese. And you just know this match will be great and Cody will win. And then we'll find out what he is doing over the next few months. They're going to confirm that CM Punk will return next week. Well, we just got a random Royal Rumble fact, and that is, if Kofi Kingston decides to declare, he will have entered more Royal Rumbles than anybody other than Kane. All things considered, let's absolutely pull the trigger on that record. It was leading somewhere too, because of course we had to have our big tag team match, which also tied into a fortnight ago. It was Kofi teaming with Jey Uso to take on Imperium. I'm just going to tell you straight up, no ups, no downs, here's why. Because as soon as Jey Uso made the hot tag, it was quite clear something was wrong, and as it turned out, poor Giovanni Vinci had taken this massive kick to the head from Kofi, and when he landed on the mat, he also smashed his head into the floor. and he was quite clearly knocked out. And this is why new wrestling rocks too, because the referee saw all of this, and he said, Jay, back off. He went to make sure the man from Imperium was okay. When he went, right, that's it, match is over, and you know what, Jay and Kof, you win. Good, because this is absolutely the correct thing to do, and all companies should do this in 2024, because as fun as it is to get invested in a wrestling match, it's not as important as somebody's health and happiness. The live fans didn't care either. They're smart tamales, and they realised what was going on, so they gave them a nice round of applause. And if you want to be the kayfabe police, go and watch a quote-unquote real fight. If somebody gets KO'd, you don't continue, it's done. So again, no ups or no downs, because there was way more important stuff to this, but I really hope this does set a precedence. Let's protect everybody. That'll be better all around. We really did keep treating this like a pay-per-view as well, premium life events. We got another amazing video for Rhea Ripley versus Ivy Nile, which will happen in about 10 minutes. But before then, we had to make sure the status quo remained the status quo. It's time for Miz TV. Now, I actually fell in love with this right away because the Miz was like, oh my gosh, my guests are going to be the Judgment Day. When who came out instead? It was R-Truth. So I don't care, man. If you were talking about the best comebacks of the last year, Exhibit A. Truth was baffled because he swore the rest of the team had come out with him, but there was nobody there. So Miz was all like, are you seeing invisible people again? When we actually got a little Jimmy chant. This ties into what I just said. We're going back to the comebacks. I want Lily Jimmy back in 2024. Oh, then admitted this week he was trying to be the PR for the Day of Judgment because nobody likes them and they need to have a friendlier image. When JD McDonagh and Dominik Mysterio walked out and they were super duper mad about this. Of course they were. McDonagh also made the faux pas of the night because he was all like, oh, the Judgment Day would never appear on Miz TV. I was like, bro, you're actually appearing on it right now. And of course, every time Dominik tried to speak, even though we were in his hometown, he just got booed out of the place. Honestly, we could do this till 2052. I'm always going to enjoy it. Truth thought this was hilarious, and he was all like, listen, JD, you got to bounce, man, because you lost the loser leaves the Judgment Day match. And McDonagh had a meltdown. When Miz said something weird, he was like, oh yeah, talking about 2023, Dominik, the only thing I remember about you is being spanked by your daddy. Now listen, we all know what he was saying, but out of context, well, a little bit odd. So the Miz absolutely needs more memories, and this is when they all challenge each other to a tag team match. But this R-Truth, he didn't know who he was meant to side with, because of course he's in the Judgment Day, but he also likes the Miz, I suppose. The man is great. It got even better because the match did start and Truth was in the neutral corner. I don't think I've ever seen that before. Once again, he didn't know who the flub to tag. He got so out of control that he was in there with JD McDonagh and The Miz at one point, and as JD was holding The Miz, R-Truth did the whole Ric Flair, Shawn Michaels thing. It was like, I'm sorry, I love you. But of course, when he went to punch The Miz, he got out of the way, and he hit McDonagh instead. Whoops. He then pushed McDonagh into The Miz, who hit the skull-crushing finale and got the 3. That kind of took me by surprise as well. We're only one day into 2024, and The Miz's record is way better than it was last year. Wade Barrett also had a meltdown about this. He was like, that's not fair, Truth doesn't deserve it. And this was just my sports entertainment for the evening, but I had such a good time. Like, I enjoyed myself, which is the whole point. Otherwise, what are we doing? Up. And then I think Raw went NXT. Why not? Because Kaden Carter and Katana Chance were just having a party backstage when Chelsea Green and Piper Niven tried to crash it. Now, this wasn't hard. It was quite literally happening in the hallway. And this was mostly just done so we could hurl a drink into Chelsea's face, because that is the character. Listen, now that we are at the start of a brand new year, we need to start taking these tag team titles seriously. We have a bunch of good teams, but yeah, there's a lot of work to do. Let's get to doing it. The hype then did continue though, because it was Ivy Nile versus Rhea Ripley for the Women's Championship. Once again, this is just really, really good. And the huge reason for this too is because Ivy clearly had decided, well, this is my time to shine and show the world what I can do. And man, did she pull that out. What an awesome performance. Rhea still went power 9,000 here and was throwing Ivy around for a while, including into the ring apron, which is the hardest part of the ring, when Ivy reversed this and she hit Rhea Ripley with a German suplex on the outside. Diesem Ultram in the arse. She then followed up with a DDT and reversed a Riptide into a gut wrench bomb for a couple of 1-2 oohs. So she was cooking. The Germans also kept on coming, and while I never believed she was going to get the victory, I was still right behind her when she made a massive mistake, and I was like, Ivy Nile, why didn't you watch the rest of the show? Because much like Becky Lynch, she climbed to the top of the turnbuckle, she went for a flying nothing, so Rhea just headbutted her, which was the baddest thing I'd ever seen. She hit the riptide, and she got the 1, 2, 3. But seriously, you should find some time to watch it today, and these two have great chemistry. Let's run it back. Give me a lap. I also want to point out that they really got the crowd into this too, so kudos to them when WWE decided to troll you. I actually saw some people mad about this, which surely means they'd missed the point, because the big tease about a former WWE champion turned out to be Jinder Mahal. You can't actually get upset about this. He is a former WWE champion. Stop hindering Jinder. I mean, as the man said too, there have only been 50 WWE champions in the history of this company, and I am one of them. And I was like, you damn right, Jinder, and I'm going to be quiet and let you speak. He also spoke in Punjabi, which got booed, which is always a little bit uncomfortable. But of course, this was all a ruse. It was all a tease, because who was going to interrupt? It was none other than the great one. Here came the flipping Rock. And this is why it doesn't matter that it was Jinder Mahal, because you can't get bigger than Dwayne Johnson. You should see the reaction when he did come out. Everybody lost their minds. As Mahal had mentioned the Iron Sheik during his promo too, The Rock was like, man, you ain't no Iron Sheik. And if Sheiky Baby was here right now, he would wonder who this no good son of a bitch jabroni was. And I was like, yep, here we go. We then got all the foreign menace stuff, which is always a little bit weird in 2024, but The Rock shut that one down. He was like, they don't boo you because of where you're from, they boo you because you're an asshole. Then he came up with his brand new line, which is calling Jinder Mahal a day one douchebag. And he got the left side of the crowd to say day one, and the right side of the crowd to say douchebag. Felt quite sorry for Jinder Mahal. I mean, he just wanted to come out and say some things. We also got, it doesn't matter, when Jinder mentioned that he hadn't seen Baywatch, but fair play to The Rock. He was kind of cute with this, because he was like, haha, don't worry, nobody did, meaning it flopped. Eventually, Mahal rightfully attacked this man, who had come out and basically verbally assaulted him, but of course, The Rock reversed it. He hit a spine buster, he dropped the people's elbow, and man, that's when we got to the good stuff. Because before he did leave, Rocky mentioned that he had to now go and eat, meaning there are a number of things that he could sit on. Because of course, he could go and sit at the bar, and I was like, oh my gosh, he's gonna fight Sheamus and Cesaro. He could sit at a booth, and I was like, oh my gosh, he's gonna take on the commentary team. Or he could sit at the head of the table. I can't lie, because I am a nerd. I basically went nuts. The place lost it too, and this was very well done, but of course it opens the door for all the speculation, because there are two very distinct pathways we could go. The first is that night 2 of WrestleMania 40 is going to be The Rock versus Roman Reigns, and what does that mean for Cody? Or there's this other crazy rumor that because the Elimination Chamber is going to be in Australia, in like a 70,000 person stadium, are they going to do it there instead? If they do, you can take that B pay-per-view premium live event name and chuck it in the bin. Now, personally, I hope we do that, because I'm desperate for Cody to finish the story at WrestleMania 40. And also, what a 3 to 4 months that would be. But again, right now, nobody has a clue, so we just need to wait and see. But in terms of what we saw on this episode of Raw, of course it gets an up. I've said it once, I'll say 1,000 times. I'm Dr. Robotnik, and I want this kind of chaos all of the time. It's pretty damn good. When Tegan Nox and Natalya lost to Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler, I was screaming at Tegan during this, you have to get away from Natty, because she never wins, and now you're like infected with her curse. Now, a little bit sadly, I think the time was cut for this, because it only went 5 minutes, probably because The Rock went long, but otherwise, Shayna and Zoe basically ran through them, then they hit this German suplex Z360 combo, and they got the 1, 2, 3. Now, I presume they will go after the women's tag team titles, and we've talked about this. Let's come up with some really good ideas for them and turn them into a prize that everybody wants to eat. This was fine though, and it's probably not going to last long in the memory, but that's okay. Not everything has to be a 5-star spectacular. Sometimes something can just be okay. Giving it up. When Raw drew to a close too, and they just had a phenomenal match, because of course it was Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre for the World Heavyweight Championship, and I had that small percentage in my tum-tum, was like, oh my gosh, Drew could win here. I mean, he didn't, but I did believe. I thought this was fabo. McIntyre wanted to kill Seth here too, because he was going to Alabama slam him into the steel steps, but thankfully Rollins was able to hold on to the ring skirting. But then he went for a dive, the Scottish Warrior was like, nope, and he grabbed him and basically snapped him in two. McIntyre then did a backbreaker because, of course, sometimes Seth Rollins has a bad back and sometimes we're meant to forget about it. But it actually did affect our champion because when he went for the Falcon Arrow, he wasn't able to do it because he was all wibbly-jibbly. So Drew McIntyre actually gave him a Falcon Arrow instead. So he too had built up his meter. We then got an Avalanche White Noise and the Future Doc DDT as we got right into the 1-2-oohs. And I was like, man, Drew is getting a lot of offense here. I smell shenanigans, and I was right, especially when he went for the Claymore, and he missed. Ruh-roh. Because almost instantly Damian Priest and Dominik Mysterio were here, and they had the Money in the Bank briefcase, and they had a referee, and damn it, they were going to cash in. Now, listen, someone needs to go up to Damo and say, dude, you don't need to come with all this baggage when you are trying to cash in. Just give your briefcase to the referee already in the ring, and damn it, make a pin. Sadly, though, he did go the long route, so Drew McIntyre just claymored the briefcase into his face before he got rid of Dominik. And then we just had the best 1-2-ooh of 2024. That's a joke. But he got back in the squared circle, he claymored Seth Rollins, and he got the 3, or he would have done if it wasn't for those meddling kids or the damn ring rope. Now this is a really interesting talking point too, because you can go, oh, Seth Rollins got his foot on the rope, but he didn't, Chief. And actually what happened is that Drew McIntyre overextended his pinfall. So now, as Seth has told him 1,000 times, Drew, you've got no one to blame but yourself. McIntyre was just furious at this point, so he was going to destroy Seth Rollins into Alan the announce table. But it went very bad for him. Seth was able to reverse it. He pedigreed Drew McIntyre into that thing, back in the ring, curb stop, 1, 2, 3. I was like, Drew, you're going to be so mad. I want to be around you when you go off. I mean, it's interesting because I don't know where we go with Drew McIntyre here now, and he really could have won the belt, but I trust in WWE stories at the moment. They have restored that faith, so I'm going to be a good soldier and sit back and wait and see. And once again, when you're just talking about the match in general, of course it gets an up. It was one of those bangers. As was this complete day one show, to be completely honest with you. I mean, this is the way to come out and swing in your bat, so it is going to get an up, I tell you. Very, very excited for WWE in 2024. I mean, these first 4 months alone, they could be all time. Also now, please do make sure you click the video on the screen, which is Ups and Downs for some kind of a show. I don't know. Just support Ups and Downs as much as you can. Like the video, share the video, subscribe. Let me know what you thought about Raw Day 1 in those comments below. And again, Happy New Year, my friend. We are back on the train, which is clearly out of control. Let's do it.